Welcome to the Fun Factor Show. For today's show, we have Mr. Deepak Gupta, a realtor from Preferred Real Estate Brokers, Orlando. He is one of the top and hardworking brokers in the area, providing perfect homes for perfect families. You can also definitely check out his YouTube channel, Orlando Living with D, and also Orlando Home Show. So, without any further delay, let's welcome Mr. Deepak Gupta. Hello, Mr. Deepak Gupta. It's indeed an honor for us to have you on our show. And also, Mr. Deepak Gupta, I was hoping, can you tell a little bit about yourself and how you started this journey? First of all, please say hi to our viewers watching.
Yes, thank you so much. That was a good introduction. My wife should watch this. That would be really nice. So I appreciate you giving me an invitation to come and talk to your viewers. I go by D over here because they mess my name up with Tupac and God knows who else. So my first name is Deepak, but I go by D. Everybody knows me as D. Somebody that calls me Deepak is probably a good friend or an old friend that really knows my name. I've been living in Orlando since 2001. I came to Orlando in April of 2001, and we all know what happened in September 2001. So I came to work as a management trainee with Disney at the Swan and Dolphin Hotel. I worked over there for a couple of years and pretty much did whatever they wanted me to do until I could establish myself in this great nation of ours. So that's what I did. I always had inclination. I come from a business family. I'm born and raised in India. I went to study in Australia. I have a bachelor's of hotel management from Australia, Sydney. I actually worked in the Olympics, and then I came here as a management trainee, and real estate was something that I was very, very interested in. And I studied for the exam, gave the exam, and then become a realtor. And a couple of years later, I became a broker. And ever since then, I've been doing this full time. By God's grace, I have a very successful YouTube channel, as you mentioned, Orlando Home Show and Orlando Living with D. On Orlando Home Show, I basically bring out model homes throughout Central Florida and Tampa area now. So we basically go out and find brand new model homes with the builder, and we showcase those properties. And then Orlando Living with D is basically all about communities. So if somebody wants to know, hey, which area is better than which, or what are the schools like, what are the hospital like, then that channel caters for that need, whereas Orlando Home Show only does brand new models. And we post about 8 homes on Orlando Home Show and about 8 homes in Orlando Living. So I hope I gave you a very brief and a very detailed answer.
Yes, that indeed was very detailed and very clear. So, Dee, I really wanted to know, I'm very curious. I mean, you did say that you did your graduation in hotel management. So, how exactly did you get into real estate? I mean, what made you so interested in such an amazing era?
Well, when I was doing the work, I was saving my money and buying investment properties, and that piqued my interest. And at that time, I had a girlfriend who was a realtor, so I learned the stuff from her. And I always knew that if I do this, I'll be very, very good at it. And I just took a leap of faith. And then to my luck, in 2007, when I became a full-time realtor, market crashed. So I lost pretty much everything. I have to start all over again. And I was young, and I'm not too much into the drinking scene or going out clubbing scene. So I got nothing else to do. So I built myself back up and got into real estate. A couple of years down the road, I basically got my broker license. Now, I don't have a brokerage because it's a lot of responsibility and more so the liability. So I just decided I did that. I worked with Keller Williams, which is one of the topmost real estate firms in the United States. And then I moved, I was with them for about 12 years. And what I realized is that all the business that I did, it was my relationship with my clients. So I decided to join a small brokerage, less red tape. I had more control on my business. And that's when I did. And I've been doing that ever since then.
Yes. I just wanted to know, what is that special or the unique characteristic of Greater Orlando area real estate? I mean, I'm sure it has something special in it. And, why is that, what is that one thing that you find very unique about Greater Orlando?
Well, Orlando, I mean, come on, you got to be kidding me. Orlando, we are the home to the Disney World. We are the capital of the universe when it comes to theme parks. We have Universal, we have the Harry Potter, we have Legoland, we have Busch Gardens, we have the NASA down the road. So I mean, like when you look at Orlando, Orlando is way more than Disney. There's so many theme parks. We are probably the United States capital for Airbnb. We have a lot of people doing Airbnb, and that is huge. So that's very, very unique to our market. Before the pandemic, we used to have over 60 million people that used to visit us for parks and everything. After the pandemic, we still had a lot of people. Like I know that during pandemic time, I went to Disney. My in-laws were here, and it was just busy. And I'm like, what pandemic? I mean, like there's a queue out the road. I mean, like it was just busy, and it's even more busier now that things are coming back, and we all are getting our life back from the 2-year sabbatical that most of us had with the corona. But Orlando in itself is a great market for not only investment, but Airbnb is huge. And everybody comes for Disney. This is where you have the Disney. You can go to Anaheim, California, and you have the baby version of Disney. This is where the main Disney is.
Yes. Like you said, like the market has really crashed, especially after the corona. And what do you really think the point is, and what do you really think the real estate area is in 2022, especially for Greater Orlando?
See, when the market, when Corona happened, I thought that, oh my God, the Airbnb is going to get decimated, real estate market is going to crash again, and this will happen. And actually, everything opposite happened. One of the reasons that it happened is because there were so many people that were working out of home in New York, New Jersey, California, in those small apartment houses, and when they were told by their companies, hey, you can work pretty much anywhere as long as the work gets done, you don't have to come. Our market exploded. We have not seen the growth in our market for the last decade than the growth that we saw in 2 years. Something that was selling 2 years ago for 300,000 is now 500,000. Now, having said that, the market is changing again, but it's not going like crazy. It's not going for a crash because there's so much demand right now that we are so underbuilt. Like Florida is a state where a lot of people are moving to rather than moving out of. So Florida is a state, and we don't have any state income tax. So a lot of people are moving to Florida because of the weather, because of no state income tax, because of all the stuff that we have to offer, that the market has definitely exploded. And coming back to my point with the current market, what the market is now doing is there's some market correction. There's a difference between a crash and a correction. So some of the resale properties are kind of getting some price changes, but I think between 5 and 7% would be the play, but they're not going to crash. Like a $500,000 home may come down to maybe 450, 475, but it's not crashing down to 300. So the market is still very hot. There's still very less inventory, and a good house in a well-priced, in a good neighborhood, well-priced, is gone in 2 days or less.
Yes. Another question, Dee, I have for you is, do you specialize, and what kind of areas do you especially specialize in? And also, if your clients want anything other than residential, do you work with them? And can you please give a brief explanation about it?
I have a small team. I have a very small team. We are very focused. We do a lot of video content. So a lot of people look at our channels, look at our videos, and then when they're ready, they give us a call. When they call us, they actually reach my ISA, and she's the one who books the appointment depending upon if I have the time or somebody from my team has the time. We do a Zoom call with them. We record that call, and we basically understand what needs are. And then we match them to the areas based upon their price point. And then when they come down, we actually spend the whole day with them showing everything that is available within their price range. So we don't go out and show 50 homes, because if the budget is not there and this is not what they're looking for, we are wasting time. So we are very laser focused, and we are very, very good in residential real estate and Airbnb residential real estate. That's what we focus on. Does that make sense?
Yes, that does. Another question, Dee, I had for you is, I was looking through your website, and your website had so many different options. I mean, it had options from different price ranges, $5 lakh, and also that's seen, it also goes up to million. So how do you manage all of this, and how does your team especially manage all of this? I just want you to, talk a little bit about your team, maybe.
If somebody calls me and say, hey, I'm looking for a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, and I want to be in this area or whichever area, we already know what the average median price of that area is. So if somebody wants a beautiful mansion in one of the best areas and their budget is 500,000, it's not going to work. So we really need to, that is why when we do the Zoom call, it is really, really important that we ask them the question, hey, what is your family need? How many bed, how many bath, what is your budget? Are you pre-approved? Are you buying cash? So there's a lot that goes on than to just go out and show homes, because see, buying a home is a very emotional thing. People get attached. So we want to make sure that when we are showing them homes, we are showing them homes, A, that meets their budget, B, that meets their needs, and C, in the area that they want, if they can afford it. So we don't want to do anything unless we know that information. So we are not one of those agents, well, if you call us, say, hey, I'm a buyer, show me homes tomorrow. We don't work like that. We want to make sure that we get the information that we need so that when we show you the properties, it is what you are looking for. Because we don't want you to fall in love with a mansion and then not be able to afford it, because that mansion is now going to take the headspace and it will make our job very difficult. So it's really important. And my team is very, very good, because this is the thing that I train them on. I have over 2 decades, almost close to 2 decades of experience doing real estate full time. I got into the business when the market crashed, and I learned the things the hard way. And thank God for that, because now that the things are different, it's a lot easier for me because I learned the hard way. And that's what I tell my team. You want to make sure that you have that conversation with your client so that you match them. You just don't go out and show them everything, because it's only going to confuse them instead of giving them clarity. And a confused mind will never make the right decision. So our job is to ask the questions to get clarity and then match them up with the right people, or with the right properties in this case. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, that also, it really is very impressive how you mentioned that, you always look into the buyer's point of view. I mean, you definitely take their views in your head too. Another question that I had was, this is definitely like a technical terms that we're going to get into. What exactly, D, is a buyer's market and also a seller's market? Can you just give an introduction about it?
That's pretty simple. It's the name itself. A buyer's market is when you have more homes to sell and less buyers. It's a basic economy. So it becomes a buyer market. So there are 100 homes available on the market for sale, and there's only 5 buyers. So that becomes a buyer's market. Whoever can get the best deal wins. Right now, we've been in a seller's market. It's still a seller's market where you have 100 buyers and 5 homes. So it's a bidding war. People are bidding, and that's what kind of raised the prices to an extent. I can tell you from real life example, I closed on a house that I listed for about $440. The house sold for $540, $100,000 more. In 2 days, we had 40 showings and about 30 offers. So you can imagine that's the way the market is. Now the market is getting corrected. So we still, if I put that same house on the market, we may not get 40 or 30 offers, but we will still get 5 to 10 offers. You just have to price it right. And if it's in the right area, and this actually comes from your knowledge of the area, how active you are on the street, your stuff. So that's why when somebody calls me and they tell me, and the first thing I say is, okay, tell me about your need. What is that you are looking for? And then I can tell you if your expectations are realistic or not, because most agents would not do that. They would be afraid to tell them, hey, your expectations are not realistic, thereby I can't help you, or your expectations are realistic and this is what you can get in this market. Now, this thing changes depending upon the market, the availability. If it's a buyer's market, it's a seller's market, it's a sideway market. It really depends.
Another question that I wanted to ask is, like, you've been in this business for, like you said, for 2 decades. So what are some facts and what are some terms that the buyers and the sellers must always keep in their heads when they come to you, or even if if somebody wants to sell something, let's just say I want to sell my house.
Well, I think the very first thing, if you're looking to sell, you need to check on the agent. You need to check their background, see what experience they have. We have over 150 reviews on Google, Zillow, Facebook, and you want to go there and check your realtor and find out. Now, Zillow is a really bad example of knowing the value of your house, but it's a really good parameter to look at the reviews of the client. And I will suggest that you read their reviews. Read 4, 5, 6, 7, and you will see that there is a pattern within that agent or within that team. So you can expect what you expect from that agent. That's number one. As a seller, you want to make sure that you don't price your house out of the market, because there are homes that sell, and then there are homes that helps other homes sell. So if you have a house that you put on the market and you have 30 viewings and no offers, then what it means is that your house is now helping other house sell. A smart agent is going to go and tell them, this is what you get for 500, but this is what you have for 480. So you got to be very leery of the price that you are putting in. And I always tell my clients, leave a little meat on the bones. So if it's 500, put it on the market for 490, and you will get multiple offer and sell it for 510. I have used that strategy very, very well for my clients. I always tell them, don't price yourself to the max, because then there is no room for you other than to come down. When you are a buyer, you want to make sure that you're working with an agent that knows the market and can tell you about the realistic stuff, and that they are full-time, because there is a lot of people in our business that are working this business as part-time. They do it when the market is hot and anybody can sell a home. So they just get into the business, and when the market gets tough, they're nowhere to be found. So that is something that you really need to keep an eye out. You want to make sure that you work with an agent that knows the market. They have some good references. Ask for references. Don't be afraid to say, hey, I want to talk to a few of your clients. Can I give them a call? If it's a good agent, they should be able to give you. We give them, before they even ask her, we tell them, here's the name and numbers. Or we just tell them, Google us. Google us and read some of our reviews. And when you are ready, when you are good, when you make that decision, give us a call and we'll be happy to help you. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Now, I do use that term a lot. That's my favorite. Like, does that make sense?
Does that make sense? That's really nice. Dee, another question that I had is this is definitely not a question, it's just something that I want to know. I'm very curious about. I saw your YouTube channel and I loved how you were so clear and you were so nice about, you were giving so many advices about living. So something called as All About Living segment from your YouTube channel. You did mention so many about different cities and how, if you move, what are some stuff you want to know. I want to know, how did you get this idea, and like, how did you get, and also how do you get such information, even if you didn't leave, and you're very clear in all of your videos.
Well,
so something that I want to know.
And that's a very, very good question, because see, when I started Orlando Home Show, I was getting a lot of traction. And then people were saying, okay, I'm looking to move to Windermere or Winter Garden. Which one is the best one? And I realized that I did not have the resource to do that. And when I Googled some of the people or YouTube some of the people, what they were telling me was they were swinging it. Like, there was not much information. There was just very basic information. So I just said, you know what? I'm going to start a channel, and I'm going to start a channel separately, and I'm going to give them the basic information that they need. So when I do that, there is a proper concept. So like the thing that people want to know is this: hey, how far am I going to be from main areas, which is Disney or the airport or the main attraction that Orlando has to offer? What are my main zip code? How is the school? What is the average median price? What is the sales price? Just the basic info. So every single one of my video, I make sure that I answer the very basic need of people, which is average price, what is the zip code, how far is it from distance, how is the hospitals over there, how is the schools over there, and that's pretty much it. And if I give them that information, if somebody really needs to know even more, they're more than welcome to call us, because there's just so much information that if I start talking about everything, every single video is going to be 1 hour and nobody's going to watch it. So I wanted to keep it between 5 and 10 minutes, answer the basic questions. And then we also did a segment called Pro and Cons of the Community. So we have community videos, which is all about suburban living, Orlando, Windermere, Winter Garden, all the main cities that we have. And then we have pros and cons. Hey, why is Windermere good to live and why is it not good to live? Why is Orlando a great place to live and why is it not a great place to live? And when I do these videos, I always tell them that this is my perspective, because at the end of the day, there's no right and there's no wrong. What really matters is your situation. Because for me, if I don't have any kids, me living further suburban and getting more bang for my buck would be better. And I don't really care much about the schooling system. I just want to make sure that I get a bigger house, nice area. Whereas somebody with two small kids like myself, and by the way, I do put a little clip of my kids in the video. I get a lot of comments in there. I talk about my kids, I talk about my wife, how she just loves shopping, which all wives do. I'm sure you will agree. And how I don't have much space in my closet, because literally speaking, I have a huge closet and I have like a little corner and everything is taken away by her clothes, which she probably would never even wear it. I didn't say that.
Also, another question that I had is that on another channel that you own, it's so beautiful about how crispy and clear you are with the models. So I think that actually, I feel like it's a very time consuming thing that you're doing and you do it so effortlessly. Can you tell a little bit about that too?
Well, I do it effortlessly now. I've done over 200 plus videos. When I started my first video, my head would not stop spinning. And I'm like forgetting my lines. I'm forgetting my information. Now I go to the house, I look at the house, I get my specs, and I'm like, hello and welcome to Orlando Home Show. And today I'm going to be showing you a 3-bedroom, 2-bathroom, 1,500 square foot built by this builder. And it's in this community. And this is the average price. This is the HOS. So let's go in, look at the ceiling height, look at the windows, look at the placement, look at the flow. Practice makes perfect. And I practice a lot. So that's how it is easy now. But I remember when I first did it, I am sweating like anything. I'm like literally losing all of me. Like I'm just sweating like, oh my God, I need a handkerchief to just put the sweat away. But now it's effortlessly because I know what I'm talking about. I know what my viewers want to know. And I've helped a lot of our people, a lot of our community people that have moved from Illinois, Milwaukee, Chicago, California. I've helped them a lot because they call me and say, hey, we love your channel. We want some information. We're going to come on this date. Can you help? My only thing is that I am one person doing 16 plus videos in a month. I'm not always available, but that's why I created my team and I train these people. They're very, very good in making sure. Now, if I have the availability, by all means, I would love to help you. Like I have had clients that have specifically asked for me and they waited almost a month to work with me. And if they are willing to do that, I would love to help them. But at the end of the day, I don't want them to miss out on the opportunity that they have now because I supervise everything. I am aware of everything that happens in my business, my team. We have our team meetings. I know exactly what's going on. And I'm always there to available. I may not be able to call them right there. If I need to talk to them, I pick up my phone and call them. And I can tell you, I can't tell you how many times I've had people say, is that the guy from the video? Oh my God, you sound so much like your video. We never thought you were going to give us a call. It's like, I don't know why, but I always give you a call. And when I have clients that are meeting with some of my team members, and if I'm in the office, I always go and meet them. And I always ask them two things. Hey, do I look like my videos? Because realtors have this thing, they look different. Like, yeah, the videos is completely different. And when you see them, you're like, is that the same person? Oh my God. And then I always ask them, do I sound like my video? Because I don't do a voiceover. That's just me. I tell my clients that at the end of the day, it's all about you. My job is to create that relationship. I'm not there to sell you a house and then you never listen. And I tell my team all the time, create the relationship. It's more about the relationship than it's about anything. Everything else will follow. And that has really helped me grow my business to a very good, like I've grown my business every single year that I've been in the business because of that belief and system that I have in place.
Yes, that is so beautiful. Finally, Dee, I wanted to ask this. I think this answer should come definitely from your heart. What is that one thing that you want to suggest to all those new relators or all those people who want to start their real estate journey? Something that you want to say and anything you want to say to the viewers watching the show right now?
Sure. The first thing that I will tell you, never lose hope. I remember when I started on the YouTube journey, I couldn't find the right camera person and I was literally trying to find the right person. I never lost hope. And I interviewed as many people I needed to find that. Be persistent. Does not matter what anybody says and what anybody cares. Because when I left my job, I was in a pretty good job, salaried position. I demoted myself. I didn't tell my parents at that time, but I believed that this is what I want to do. And I just did it. The most important thing is take action. Believe in yourself, be persistent, and take action. Just have your blinders on and don't worry about what anybody's saying. Because I know my boss told me very specifically, you've been a great assistant to me. I would really love for you. And the market seems like it's going to crash and all that. And if you ever come back, I'll give you a job. From that time till now, I made 3 times more money than they were ever paying me. And I had more freedom because I believed. It's going to be a difficult journey. You're going to have a lot of tear, blood, sweat. You're going to have all of that. When you fall down, it's okay. Be upset. I'm like, if it takes you a day, be a day, but don't make it months and years. Get over it and move on. I'm like, that is something that I would highly, highly suggest. And guys, if you are looking to buy a property anywhere in Central Florida, Tampa area, please reach us out. Go ahead and check on YouTube, do Orlando Home Show. We actually have 3 channels now. It's Orlando Home Show. It's Orlando Home Show in Espanol. Now, I don't speak Spanish. My Spanish is poquito. However, if you just do Orlando Home Show in Espanol, I have a Spanish agent partner who basically, it's like, welcome to Florida and now talk in Spanish. Everybody speaks Spanish here, or most of the population do. And then you can check out Orlando Living. And then probably in September, I'm opening up another channel, which is going to be Luxury Living by Dee. And that's where I'm actually going all over the state to do those multi-million-dollar homes, like they're like mansions. And I love doing them. I'm like, the first one that I did, I'm banking the video so I have enough, was an 8,000 square foot home. And I was like, go in there and like, how do I start? Where do I start? It was just unbelievable. But I appreciate you and Sakshi TV for giving me an opportunity to come on the show. I really enjoyed my time. And if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. I could be reached out via my email or by just my call. Just call me at 321-276-8601 or just email us at info@dgupta.com. We'll be happy to help, and make sure to follow us on YouTube and also on Instagram and everything else that there is. Social media is everywhere. Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Dee. Thank you so much. Thank you for the viewers for tuning in. You're watching Sakshi TV with me, Shivani Raj.